Hey guys, welcome to Cape and Cowl Cafe, and happy holidays. It's that time of the year, and I just couldn't let the season pass by without doing a Christmas video. So today, I'm going to be ranking superhero teams based on how enjoyable I think their Christmas parties would be. If you guys enjoy the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button. And before we get started, drop in the comments down below which superhero team you would like to spend the holiday season with. But without further ado, let's hop right in. Alright, so I'm not going to cover every single superhero team in comic books. I've just picked a few of the most notable ones, but starting up the list in last place at number 8, we have the Suicide Squad. So I think the Suicide Squad would be pretty miserable to hang out with any time of the year, let alone Christmas, but because of the nature of their team and how they work, I really think that the party would be run by Amanda Waller and Argus, so it would be more of like a workplace office Christmas party, and that sounds really lame. And also, Amanda Waller is very lame. She has no fun qualities, to her. She's just boring and strict. There'd be no music, there'd be no decorations. She'd be kind of running the party like Captain Holt in that one episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Why is no one having a good time? I specifically requested it.
It would just be boring, And, another thing, you're surrounded by convicted felons and murderers and just these horrible people. Why would you want to hang out with them? Not only that, they all have bombs in their neck, Like you could be standing next to Deadshot, pouring some punch, and then, he mouths off to Amanda Waller, she blows his head off, and then boom, you're, caught in the crossfire, you get killed too just because you're standing next to him. There would just be a huge amount of tension in the room at all times. Also, I would not want to be, within 20 feet of, actually way more than that. I would not want to be within 5 miles of Killer Croc, and he's going to be in the room with you. That's not fun, all right? Like, I know some of you freaks are going to be like, oh, but Harley Quinn is there. Not worth it, all right? Not worth it. There's so many terrible people here. No thanks. And I mean, not only, Killer Croc, King Shark is also going to be at this party. And, he may be all cute and adorable in the Suicide Squad movie.
Peacemaker. Put it against the wall.
But you're not going to be thinking that when you're standing 2 feet in front of him and he's looking down at you, drooling from the mouth. Like, no, I do not want to be at this party. That sounds miserable. Honestly, I don't know what crime I would have had to commit to be forced to go to this party. Like, it must have, been something absolutely heinous and diabolical. Like, did I blow up an orphanage? Why am I here with the worst people in the world? No thanks. Alright, next up at number 7, we have the Fantastic Four. Now, I do think that this would be a nice, quaint little family dinner. It would honestly be a little boring, though. Of course, the Human Torch would be fun to hang out with. He's hilarious. And the Thing would probably be pretty fun, too. He likes to play cards, but, the thing is... see what I did there? Yeah, the thing is, I'm not going to be attending a superhero Christmas party to play cards. I want to have some fun. I want something crazy to happen. And Reed Richards is a little boring, and with how much he ignores his wife, he might not even be there, honestly. He might be down in his lab doing something stupid. I don't know. If they're at the point, in the timeline where they have Franklin, he would be pretty cool to hang out with. He's a cool kid. And then, I mean, the only thing that would really convince me to go to this party is if Spider-Man is there, because most of the time, the Fantastic Four consider Spider-Man a part of the family. So he would just be so fun to talk to and hang out with. I mean, it's Spider-Man, but more likely than not, he's probably not going to be there. Spider-Man's got his own stuff going on, so I'm not going to be attending this party. It just doesn't sound very fun, No offense to the team or anything. They're cool. I like them, but I don't know. Alright, next up at number 6, we have the Avengers. Now, this party would probably take place at Avengers Tower, and, the food would be amazing. There would be a huge spread, there would be tons of decorations. Tony Stark is a billionaire. I don't really think he would cheap out on a party like this. But, if it's just the Avengers from the movies, I don't really have any interest to hang out with any of them, except for maybe Thor and Captain America. Just hanging out with the God of Thunder would be crazy, but honestly, Iron Man, kind of a prick, very egotistical. I don't think I'd want to hang out with him. The Hulk would be cool to meet, but, I'd be a little scared, honestly. But, if it's just Bruce Banner, like, do you really want to hang out with Bruce Banner? Like, really? And then, Hawkeye and Black Widow are just kind of, But if it's the expanded roster for the Avengers from the comics, like, you got Deadpool and Spider-Woman and Doctor Strange and Iron Fist, Luke Cage, maybe even Spider-Man's there, I'd be way more willing to go just because there'd be way more people to interact with, more cool people to meet, and I just feel like the vibes would be way better, Like, I don't know. Like, the location is also really good. Stark Tower, you get to explore that. That sounds amazing. And also Christmas in New York, just, I don't know, this sounds pretty good. Any of these Marvel teams, from New York, like, I don't know, Christmas in New York has always just looked so cool. I've never been there, but, watching the Home Alone movies, I wouldn't mind it. That looks pretty good. I wouldn't mind attending that, but I think there's others that would be way more fun. Okay, next up at number 5, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I do think that this would be a fun team to hang out with. I do like everyone on there. Drax would be so funny to hang out with. He's hilarious. Mantis is just so sweet, and she would be nice to talk to. And Star-Lord, of course, you'd just talk about music all night long. But the thing is, this team is insane. They are crazy, okay? Their typical adventure is just always life-threatening, and honestly, I might get left behind on some random planet, and I'm cooked. Like, I'm just dead, Like, I feel like, one of their parties would be going to a random planet that's, like, about to blow up. Kind of like in that episode of Rick and Morty where Rick and Summer go to that planet and everyone's partying for the last time. But I would just get left behind, and then I'd be dead. Now, we do have a Christmas special from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was, a lot more chill and tame. They did do some kidnapping, though. They kidnapped Kevin Bacon.
This isn't a Christmas gift. This is human trafficking.
Yes!
But the end of the special was really nice. They decorated, this neighborhood on this one planet, and they threw a little Christmas party for Peter Quill. It was really nice. I would like to attend that party, but, it's nothing crazy. I feel like there's others that would be way better. But, if they're going on one of their typical adventures, like they do all the time, I would probably be in danger of dying. So I might not pick the Guardians. Definitely way more interesting than the Fantastic Four, though. Also, I just have to mention, Groot being a Christmas tree would be so funny. Alright, next up on the list at number 4, we have the X-Men. Now, there actually is an X-Men Christmas special. I thought it was pretty boring, honestly. Most of the plot was just Wolverine, Storm, and Jubilee going down into the Morlock tunnels to help out Leech. Like, it was a nice little Christmas story, but in the beginning of the episode, they actually were planning a Christmas party at the mansion. You had Wolverine being a big grump, and he's kind of a douchebag, and he's hating on Christmas for no reason. And then Jean Grey and Gambit were arguing in the kitchen about the cooking. That was pretty funny. Probably because Jean Grey's cooking was super bland, and then Gambit's Cajun, so he just wanted to add some spice. But honestly, I feel like the X-Men would be way more fun to hang out with during Christmas time than a lot of other superhero teams, because they feel more like a family, Also, there are so many mutants that you could hang out with and meet, and a lot of their powers would actually lend a hand into having a good time, Like, you could have Iceman create an ice skating rink outside, and then you go ice skating with a bunch of mutants and just hang out with them. Like, that sounds like so much fun, honestly. And then, the X-Mansion would be such a cool place to explore. You get to see everyone's rooms, you get to see the Danger Room. I don't know, I feel like that would be a pretty decent way to spend Christmas. You could do a lot worse. Alright, my line of reasoning for this next one is not going to be very long, but at number 3, we have Young Justice / Teen Titans. Now, I just think that these teams would be so fun to hang out with at a Christmas party, mainly because their priority would be, having fun. Like, the party would mostly just be playing games. And of course, I would love to meet Robin and ask him a million questions about Batman, obviously. But honestly, I think I would just sit on the couch and play video games with Kid Flash, Cyborg, and Beast Boy. We would just get set up there with all the junk food we'd want, and we would play Smash Bros. Like, all night. Sounds perfect. And then of course, Titan's Tower would be just so much fun to explore and hang out in. Like, it's just the perfect spot for a fun party. Alright, next up in second place, we have the Justice League. Now, of course the Justice League is this high on the list. Who wouldn't want to have a Christmas party with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, The Flash? Like, what are we talking about here? Also, this party would probably happen on the Watchtower. Like, you would get teleported up into a space station and then have a Christmas party there. That just sounds insane. You could look out the window and see the Earth below, and then also you're hanging out with Batman. Like, come on, that just sounds so perfect. And also, if this is the expanded roster from, Justice League Unlimited, there would be so many people that you would get to hang out with. Like, I personally would want to hang out with Booster Gold, The Flash, and then, like, Vigilante and Shining Knight. Those guys just sound like so much fun. Also, if Green Arrow is going to be attending, he's probably going to bring his famous chili, which, fun fact, is so hot that only Batman can eat it without crying. I don't know if I would try it. I don't think I'm, brave enough. Like, if I look over and I see Superman, using his freeze breath on a spoonful of the chili, I don't think I'm touching it, But it just sounds like so much fun. Now, if you guys have seen the Christmas special from the Justice League cartoon, you guys would know how wholesome a lot of these characters are. I mean, you have those scenes where Superman brings Martian Manhunter back to the Kent farm for Christmas dinner.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Kent. I hope I'm not intruding. My name is Jean. I'm a Martian.
Oh, we're no strangers to aliens in this house.
Like, of course I'm gonna want to hang out with these guys more than the Avengers. You got Superman, Flash, Martian Manhunter. You got three of the kindest people right here. And also, do I have to say this again? You get to hang out with Batman. Also, Firestorm is in the Justice League. And with his powers, he can transmute matter and make any food you want. He can essentially just be a personal chef up on the watchtower, making whatever food your heart desires. That just sounds so awesome. Like, this party would be so fun. All right, in first place, we got the Bat family. Now, I think most people would pick this team as the group that they get to spend Christmas with. I mean, first off, you get to hang out with Batman, as I stated before. That's insane. You'd also get to meet Nightwing, Robin, Damian Wayne, maybe Red Hood's there, and if you want to hang out with all the other Bat family members, they can be there too. But the main reason why I'm picking the Bat family is Alfred, all right? Alfred is the best butler ever, all right? Like, he would make the best Christmas dinner, and I don't know. I'm a person who really enjoys the warm indoor Christmas aesthetic, so having Christmas dinner in Wayne Manor with the fireplace going in the background and all that warm lighting, it just sounds so peaceful to me. Like, that just sounds like such a nice time. But it wouldn't be boring like the Fantastic Four because, the Bat family is just fun, Plus, you might get a tour of the Batcave. You would get to see all the Batmobiles, the trophies, the Bat suits. You'd get to see the Bat computer. I don't know. This just sounds like the best time. And I might be a little biased because I'm a huge Batman fan, but why the hell would you not pick this, all right? You get to see the Batcave and have Alfred make you dinner? Are you insane? Obviously, this is the best choice. And I mean, I don't know, Batman and Christmas, it's just an aesthetic that really works for me. I mean, I think Arkham Origins has one of the best atmospheres for the Arkham games because you get to play as Batman in the snow. I don't know, it's just so cool. I mean, there's just so many reasons to choose the Bat family for your Christmas dinner destination. I mean, if this is happening in Wayne Manor, you're probably gonna get a guest room, which will probably be huge, all right? And you're gonna really get the VIP treatment with Alfred as your host. It just sounds so enjoyable. Plus, you'd probably get to play with Ace the Bat Hound. Maybe you'd get to meet Bat Cow. And then, in the Batcave again, you get to see the dinosaur, the giant penny, the playing card. There's so many cool things that you would get to see and explore. The Bat family just sounds like such a good time. Alright guys, that's going to be about it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it all, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button and drop in the comments down below which team you would like to spend Christmas with. Let's talk about it and, I don't know, let's just have a good time down in the comments. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.